共に祈ろう。俺は信じている。皆の願いは天に届くと。
Hello, I'm Silveroxus, and happy anniversary to Octopath Traveler COTC for the C/global server. It's the second anniversary for the C players and about 3.5 years for the global players, just about. I know, don't think too much into it. Anyway, the anniversary units we're getting for this anniversary are Hikari EX and Rai Mei. So this video is going to be focusing on covering Hikari EX, the Conjurer of Light. And yes, this is actually one of the first units to start using advanced jobs. That's something they started to do now in JP and future units like that, because we'll have a lot more units that start doing pulling the secondary jobs from both this game and Octopath Traveler 1, Octopath Traveler 2 and 1, I mean. And Hikari EX is in fact the Conjurer. So what does the Conjurer do? Well, since there isn't a Conjurer class, he's a cleric in this game. His role is a light DPS that can exploit all elements except dark. His special abilities is that he can grant himself potency up from a stance that'll also drain SP while active, and gain permanent passive buffs from Conjurer points. Also can hit up to 15 times in one turn, if you set it up right. His preferred weapons would be Brilliant Staves for damage cap, Fortune Staves for extra magic attack if you're not quite reaching max cap per hit is fine. Preferred accessories would be, if main DPSing, all the damage cap you can bring. If extra slots for some reason, bringing extra light damage up to reach his 50% cap can work. For his passive skills, his basic passive is that when selecting skills, you can swap between normal and Kagura stances. This is kind of like Elrica or Dulcinea, who have different stances. It's a little button in the top right of the screen when you're selecting skills. Kagura stance grants all allies Kagura's Light, which grants them all 15% magic attack and light damage up. Also, this was buffed to give Hikari EX a self 75% potency up, and this doubles to 150% if Crick is around. Crazy that his banner is still active while Hikari EX's is. It's almost like they planned this. Kagura's stance consumes 25% of Hikari EX's max SP every turn, automatically swapping back to normal stance if he runs out of SP. So you do need to make sure that you're paying attention to his SP, or making sure that he's getting SP back from various ways to ensure that he doesn't run out of SP or cancel his Kagura stance if you don't need the damage for that turn, or the follow-up attacks, as you'll see here. Because his first passive is that while in Kagura stance, whenever any ally uses an attack, excluding counters/ultimates, Hikari EX will perform a one-hit AoE light follow-up attack, 1x100 power, and gain 1 Conjurer point. So this was buffed to gain the Conjurer points, otherwise it's exactly the same as it was in JP. This basically means, yes, if any ally uses any attacking, a normal attack or any attacking skill that does damage, then he will perform a one-hit light follow-up attack. The follow-up attack does come from him, so it uses his stats, so you don't have to worry about it there being really weak attacks from coming from other people. So this is why that's why we consider him to have a 15 hit, because he's doing all the follow-up attacks. So therefore it all comes from his buffs and his self-potency and everything like that. But the main thing to note is that, yes, he does not do them after ultimates, including his own ultimate. So if you are going to be nuking with him, then you can use his ultimate because it's his best nuking option, but then make sure your other attackers are not using ults, if you can help it. His 3-star passive, grant himself effects based on the amount of Conjurer points, which now that he got buffed to gain points even faster, whereas, for example, if you swap to Kagura stance round 1 on turn 1, and all 4 of your people do an attack turn 1, he's going to gain 4 Conjurer points immediately. And if you use a skill that gives him Conjurer points, that's 5. So he can get to 9 Conjurer points by turn 2 now. So yeah, he at 3 or more Conjurer points, elemental attacks can exploit fire/ice/wind/lightning weaknesses. So basically, he can exploit every single element except for dark. At 5+ Conjurer points at the start of the turn, he'll perform a 2-hit AoE light attack. This is basically a Swift Strikes attack. So this will go before anybody takes any actions with high priority. If you have another Swift Strikes like Solin's or Rinyu EX's, because hers is also a light one, so that's a very good pairing. It will be based on the unit's speed. So if you want Rinyu EX's Swift Strikes to be like your braking, so his does more damage, then you want to make sure that she's a faster unit than him, so that way her Swift Strikes beat out his. Otherwise, at 7+ Conjurer Point, self gain 10% max SP regen. This was actually added in a buff. This is actually really good because now that means once he has 7+ Conjurer Points, he's going to lose 25% of his max SP, but gain 10% back, which is just going to extend the amount of time he can stay in Kagura form, which is really, really good. And then at capped 9+ Conjurer Points, he grants himself 20% magic attack up and also increases his own passive magic attack / light damage up cap to 50%. And he gains the ability to crit with magic. And the 6-star skill evolution just increases the power for the 2-hit start of Eternal Light attack to be 50% stronger. So yeah, you want to get him to 9 Conjurer Points as fast as possible, so that way when he's in Kagura stance, he'll have a total of 35% passive magic attack up, and he's already giving himself 20% light damage up, including with his TP passive another 15%, so he'll be at 35% at a 50% light damage up, so it'll be very easy to get him the rest of the way there. Because his TP passive is that while he's at full HP, he grants himself 15% crit and 15% light damage up. And newly added from a buff, which is very, very massive for him, is he also gains a 100,000 damage cap up. That is huge, and this buff alone is what turns him into a DPS powerhouse because now he's no longer significantly behind all the other units. Alright, so onto his skills. His base kit, he has a 3-hit single target light and gain 1 Conjurer Point. A 1-hit AoE light that also gains a Conjurer Point. And AoE 15% magic defense plus light resistance down for 2 to 5 turns and also gain a Conjurer Point. A 3-hit AoE light that inflicts 15% magic defense down for 2 turns and also gain a Conjurer Point. A front row recover 8% of their max SP plus 5% SP regen for 2 to 5 turns plus gain a Conjurer Point. And if he's in Kagura stance when casting this skill, it'll target all allies instead, so he can also be like an SP battery as well. His 3-star skill is a 4-hit random target light that inflicts 15% light resistance down for 2 turns per hit and gain a Conjurer Point. His 4-star skill is a front row 15% magic attack, crit / elemental damage up and 30,000 damage cap up for 2 to 5 turns and grant himself a Conjurer Point as well. And in Kagura stance, this will target all allies instead. This is a very good skill to use like at the beginning of battle in Kagura stance because it gets everybody a strong buff, gets some damage cap out, gives himself a Conjurer Point, and if he's doing follow-up attacks on all the other skills that turn, he's already going to be at 4, so that's a good idea. His 5-star skills is a 4-hit AoE light that when in Kagura stance becomes 7 hits instead. This is his best nuking option that's not his ultimate, so keep that around, and it's also just a good easy way to have a free 8-hit attack because he's going to follow up his own attack in Kagura stance, obviously. A 3-hit single target light when in Kagura stance is 5 hits instead. So this is, like I said, it's basically 6 hits. This is just single target instead of AoE, so that's why it's less hits. And it's also significantly stronger, so if you're like a newer player and don't have a super strong account yet, this might be useful just to do a lot higher damage to reach cap if you're struggling to reach cap. Because yeah, if you're not reaching cap, then doing less hits is okay. Just keep that in mind, because if you're not like reaching cap, then you're not actually losing damage. His TP skill is a self 50 to 125 SP recovery and gain 1 to 4 Conjurer Points based on boost level. And if he's in Kagura stance, this doubles amount the SP recovered. Due to the buffs he's received, this TP skill is no longer mandatory to run on him. His EX skill plus ultimate technique. His EX skill has 2 total uses, and it's unlocked when he has 6 or more Conjurer Points. It's a 4-hit single target light, and then self-recover 100% max SP. Good thing you can always take EX skills with you, because this is basically a 5-hit light with his follow-up attack, and you can just kind of throw this out whenever you don't need a high amount of shields in between breaks or before break, and get all your SP back instantly to maintain Kagura stance, so this is a very useful EX skill. His ultimate technique is a damage class ultimate called Hinonuma's Legacy. It grants all allies 10% magic attack / light damage up for 2 turns, and then it's an 8-hit AoE light, and he grants himself 3 Conjurer Points if you somehow weren't maxed yet. At 200% gauge, it's a 10-hit attack instead. So yeah, this was buffed to have the all allies buff, and it gained an additional 2 hits because it used to be 6 hits into 8 hits. That's amazing, and that's what makes him having a 10-hit ultimate that's this strong and gives him a buff before the attack is just simply incredible. I would not use this ultimate at all to worry about getting him Conjurer points. If you're somehow not maxed yet, I would honestly max before break since it's so fast to do, so just ignore the fact that this ultimate gives Conjurer points, honestly. This scales to 15% buffs for 3 turns, and stronger powered ultimate 10, and then 20% buffs for 3 turns, and even more powered ultimate 20. At ultimate level 20, it gains 30% charge per BP, 60% with AU, 6 BP to full charge, 3 BP with AU. 200% gauge activation is Super Burst. Gain a bonus 50% stackable potency up to this ultimate's damage. Very good. AU priority, his A4 is great, but his ultimate is his best nuking option by far, so I would AU him first if possible. So for his Awakenings plus A4 accessory, A1 is great for any DPS, but with his new buffs, I would AU him first. A2, luxury, but useful. A3, cleric squishy, extra HP is always desired. And his A4 accessory, the Conjurer's Raiment, grants 140 magic attack, and this was also buffed because when breaking an enemy, inflict 10% magic defense down for 3 turns. And the buff is that when they added on the damage cap to the when consuming 3+ BP, gain 15% magic attack up and 50,000 damage cap up. So the A4 tier rating of this is S+ tier. So, but it's damage cap. Why is it not SS tier? Because it requires you to consume BP, meaning it won't work for units who use their ultimates to nuke. That being said, it's still a very good A4, especially for the future magic meta in the far future, as this gives magic defense down on break, allowing you to cap magic defense down with the Varkin and Signa A4s. The magic stat is great, and it's a magic-focused damage cap accessory that you can never have enough of, and you can exchange for it. So, meaning while it may not be SS tier, you should probably add this to your list of A4s to exchange for, in my opinion. I would still put this behind other key ones, like obviously Bargello first, then normal Hikari, Temenos is a great A4, so like getting the other damage cap ones like that or first are important. I would say that Signa A4 is still very important as well, but then like after that, I could throw in having Hikari EX A4 now, because it's a magic-focused one, the magic meta is going to take over in the future, and it's 50,000 damage cap, so like, if you do get him, it's not a bad idea to add him to the list. For an optimal skill loadout, skill 1, his 4-7 hit AoE light, easily made 7 hits, and best non-ultimate nuking and shield shave option. And again, with his own follow-up attack, it's a minimum of 8 hits. Skill 2, front row all allies, 15% magic attack / crit / elemental damage, plus 30,000 damage cap buff. I mean, this is just an amazing buff. Gives himself the damage cap that he really, really wants, so he's basically able to give himself 130,000 damage cap on his own, which is pretty close. I mean, the best units in the game give 200,000 damage cap to themselves, and they're starting to creep that in JP now, so this is pretty good. So he's not really that far behind. For third skill, the 4-hit random target light that inflicts light resistance down for 2 turns per hit, like free light debuff, stacks well with other units, decent amount of hits, and like you can't go wrong with getting free hits that also does a debuff for you. And skill 4, if you have it, you can swap it for skill 3 depending on the fight. You can take the front row / all allies, SP recovery plus SP regen, because that just helps him stay afloat. And even if you have a unit like Shauna, you could drain SP and stuff. Like, having another SP option is not a bad idea, and especially if you don't have Shauna, this could really, really help Hikari EX stay afloat. So for unit synergy, Crick doubles his self 75% potency into 150% by existing, and if paired with Hikari EX or another cleric on the team, he will also do 4 follow-up attacks a turn for shield shaving, because his follow-up attacks also exploit light and staff and sword. So there's a decent chance his follow-up attacks are going to help in most fights. It's a super good combo. NetEase was smart having both their banners active at the same time. They knew what they were doing. If you want Hikari EX to do Giga Chad damage, Crick is right there. I wish you luck. Mabel, pet stacking buffs on Hikari EX and magic options. Useful if you have another cleric to run Crick with the pair up if you need his follow-up attacks. Remember, Crick only needs to be with the cleric if you want his follow-up attacks. If you just need him to do magic defense down debuffs and help Hikari just double its potency by existing, then Crick can be anywhere on the team and you can still pass pet stack with Hikari. It's just, if you can put Crick with the cleric, you should, just because then he gets follow-up attacks every single turn, always, and it's great. Shauna, awesome unit to have. Her SP stock helps Hikari EX stay in the Kagura stance much longer, and all allies regen and all are insane stuff, of course. Signa, ult debuffs, light resistance down, and debuff options, and a good light sub DPS to play along with Hikari as well, because she can do up to 6 hits. and so that's still, that's decent. And she's doing all her support options, so being able to do, light damage and support is pretty great, because you can build her to be a good light nuker. Detrena, Global is starving for good light DPS, and she's still decent for that, able to do 6 hits. Isla, Omega magic support with his ultimate alone. Frederica, actually, amazing fire DPS that can play along with Hikari EX, since his light attacks exploit fire weakness. In the future has mixed element teams in one comp, so while she only hits fire, you could take him and her to fire fire stuff, because like Isla's buffs and other things like that are just universal elemental damage up now. Then Frederica does have a 10-hit fire, so she can keep up with Hikari and do decent amount of damage. And in the future, you are going to take multiple element DPSs on the same team. So like in the future, you're going to crazy hitting DPS stuff, and you'll take them all on the same team, because you can use Dark Priestess in the future, as her ult allows all attacks to exploit any element. Or if you have Moruso EX, not listed, but obviously an amazing unit, she has the Rambo buff, and it's the same thing basically, but they can exploit any weakness. And then I would also say Parties X, Far Future, the king who knocks Hikari EX off his light DPS throne, but they will play great together for pure light comps. Yes, I'm aware that there's other magic options that might trump Hikari EX, but remember, not every player is going to be able to get every single option. So Hikari EX is not a bad option if you like magic and you want him now. That's all I'm saying. So to pull or not to pull plus rating, Hikari EX is the strongest DPS in Global on release, period. It's just fact, he beats out Parties. But the biggest flaw is that he doesn't have anywhere close to as good DPS friends as him. He can dish out the highest damage for any single unit, well more than Parties even can. But in a well-built team, he will fall behind. Once Odio buffs eventually come and Dark Knight releases, that evil sword meta you've heard about will still clear him out of a spot. Until then, though, Hikari EX is easy to use without a ton of setup due to his incredible buffs, and can slam exceedingly hard, especially if Crick is around. For the good 6 to 8 weeks or more till evil swords are all here, and he can help any account clear content very well. And when the magic meta makes a return later next year, he may have a solid use again, so he is very much not a waste to pull either. If you like Hikari EX, have fun. You can have fun right now. As always, pull advice is advice. Please pull responsibly and have fun your way. Tier 4, free to play. Skip unless you own/plan to get Crick and can still comfortably afford Midia, Dark Knight, and ODOO, meaning you need to have about 18k plus rubies like before pulling. Tier 3, low spend/passes only. A0 at most. Same deal if you prefer to have you'd prefer to already have Crick or be planning to get him now. Tier 2, Dolphin, AU/up to A0 AU at most, exchange for A4 later. And Tier 1, Whale, A4 AU, go nuts. Overall rating, DPS, SS. Support, S. No healing or tanking. Overall tier is an SS tier on release. And I do want to make a little disclaimer that I haven't said in every video, but this applies to all my videos. All my tier ratings are based on the units on the time of their release. Units will be power crept and fall off. That's just how gacha works. But I rate my units based on how they are at the time they release. And on release, Hikari EX does the most hits in the game. He is an SS tier unit. Yes, he will fall off when other options show up. He will still probably always be at least an S tier, because being able to do 15 hits is very, very good. It's just there'll be easier and better units that can do it, because, for example, someone's going to come out in the comments and say Alana EX2. Yes, well, I know she can do like 18 hits. I get it, all right? It's just on release, he is SS tier. He will fall off later, but that does not make him a bad option now if players want to have fun with him now. And just want to have that disclaimer out there that I'm not misrating units. If you go look at all my videos, the tiers that I give units is just on their release in the current existence of Global of the meta right now. That's all. Anyway, I'm planning on getting at least one Hikari EX. I don't think I'm going to chase dupes just because I can't exchange for him. I mean, AU is very nice to use him now, because if you want to use him right away, you do want AU. So I'll just have to think about what happens with my pulls. But I'm definitely going to get at least one copy myself. I kind of hope I luck into a Rai Mei. We'll see what happens. I will try to stream my pulls if I can. Hopefully I don't get bodied like I did with Crick, because he made me pity that son of a bitch. Anyway, I hope you all have luck when you're doing your anniversary pulls and stuff as well. Please check out the anniversary video if you're interested in that, as well as the video on Rai Mei if you're interested in what she can do. You know, spoilers, don't pull for her specifically, only get her as a bonus on Hikari EX. Sorry, it's just true. Yeah, but please let me know and like and subscribe for more COTC content to come. I'll keep trying my best to put out as helpful content as I can, and all the support means the world as I try to keep this channel alive. And I love you all, and I'll see you all next time. See ya.